Hey guys, this is to the point. This video is only for those who are following any organized religion. It can be Christianity, Muslim, or any of those thousands of religions in the world. Today, you're going to find out if your religion is going to survive the next 100 years. There are 3 factors to determine if the religion you are following is from the true God or not. Those 3 factors are the ones that determine if your religion is going to survive the next 100 years. Ladies and gentlemen, this is to the point. Number 1 is, your religion has to follow science. You might probably have heard people saying, religion can take you to buildings while science is taking us to Mars. This is the most important factor when talking about religions. Whatever religion you follow, it doesn't matter. Your religious book was not, or is not, or it will never ever be a reference to any scientific conclusion. That's the reason many religious scholars hate the fact that science has been becoming the only leading institution where people go to seek knowledge about the world. Science provides information, and for thousands of years, people had no access to free information that took place in the past, so they have no option but to believe whatever narration they were taught without fact-checking. But we are not doing that anymore. We have the internet on our hands, we have science on our hands, we have history on our hands, we have biology, chemistry, cosmology, almost everything we have it on our hands. We are the only generation that are capable of doing that, and this is driving all religious scholars crazy. Any scholar, for example Muslim or Christians, they don't like the idea of people doing their own research, so they have been providing their own narratives of different stories for centuries in order to manipulate the public to stay in order, but not anymore. Think of it this way. Assume you are a Muslim, and you have a 15-year-old son who goes to school and asks you to tell him about the splitting of the moon. You're going to tell him that the moon was once split in half because it is mentioned in the Quran. Let's say when he becomes an astronomer or cosmologist, he is going to find out how nonsense it was to even think that the moon was ever split in half. The same thing with Christianity. Assume you are Christian and you have a son who is 15 years old. So they ask you about the sizes of the stars that we see at night. And according to the Bible in the Revelation chapter, you are going to answer that the stars are a small light that will fall from the sky to the earth during the judgment day. To even say that, this clearly says that you don't know how speck of dust the earth is compared to stars. And your son is going to laugh at your answers, because they already know how super tiny the earth is when you compare it to the stars. In fact, they are not even comparable to each other. That's why I said, any religion will have no choice but to follow what science teaches, because unlike religion, science works. We didn't invent cars, planes, satellites, and rocket ships, and even went to the moon because the inventors and astronomers were in church their entire life praying or fasting. We didn't invent insulin, vaccines, antibiotics, and medical imaging such as MRI by just reading our religious textbooks. It was science who created those discoveries. That's why I said science works. To ensure their survival and relevance in the next 100 years, religions must embrace and integrate with science. In an increasingly interconnected and scientifically literate world, an unwavering adherence to literal interpretations of ancient texts, especially when they contradict verifiable scientific findings, risks alienating a significant portion of the population. As scientific advancements continue to demystify natural phenomena that were once explained by divine intervention, religions that cling to outdated explanations will lose credibility. For example, many religious denominations have already reconciled their beliefs with the theory of evolution, recognizing that science explains the how of creation while religion addresses the why. This kind of flexible and adaptive approach will be crucial for religions to maintain their intellectual and moral authority. A refusal to engage with science can lead to a shrinking and insular community. When religious doctrines conflict with well-established scientific facts, such as the age of the earth or the origins of the universe, it can create an intellectual schism for followers, forcing them to choose between their faith and reason. In a world where access to information is instantaneous, younger generations are less likely to accept dogma without empirical support. Therefore, for a religion to remain a viable part of a person's life, it needs to be seen as a complementary force to scientific inquiry, not a competing one. This means fostering a dialogue where science explores the natural world and religion provides a framework for meaning, ethics, and purpose. Ultimately, the long-term survival of religion depends on its ability to evolve alongside humanity's understanding of the cosmos. Instead of viewing science as a threat, religions can see it as a source of awe and wonder that enriches their spiritual understanding. The vastness of the universe revealed by astronomy, the complexity of life uncovered by biology, and the fundamental laws of physics can all be interpreted as manifestations of a divine order. By embracing this perspective, religions can become more resilient and compelling, offering a spiritual home that is not just intellectually honest, but also deeply intertwined with the human quest for knowledge and truth. A religion that acknowledges scientific facts can offer a more mature and sophisticated faith that inspires believers rather than demanding blind faith. Number 2, religion must not associate with culture. For religions to thrive in the next 100 years, they must strategically disentangle their core spiritual tenets from the cultural trappings that have accumulated over centuries. Cultural beliefs, while offering a sense of community and identity, are often a source of division and rigidity. For example, specific cultural norms regarding gender roles, dress codes, or dietary practices can be mistakenly viewed as universal religious law, alienating potential followers and creating internal conflict. In an increasingly globalized world, a religion that is inextricably tied to a single culture will struggle to appeal to a diverse, multicultural populace. By focusing on universal principles of faith, ethics, and love, religions can shed their ethnocentric baggage and become more inclusive and relevant to a wider range of people. Furthermore, the conflation of religion and culture can make it difficult for adherents to separate genuine spiritual truths from social traditions. As cultures evolve, practices that were once meaningful can become outdated or even harmful. A religion that resists this change risks being seen as obsolete and out of touch. For instance, some historical cultural practices, such as specific forms of punishment or social hierarchies, may no longer align with modern concepts of human rights and dignity. When these practices are defended in the name of religion, it damages the religion's moral standing. Religions that can adapt and reform by distinguishing between timeless spiritual truths and transient cultural customs will be better equipped to address contemporary social issues and maintain their moral credibility. Finally, the separation of religion from culture is crucial for fostering interfaith dialogue and cooperation. Many conflicts around the world are fueled by cultural and nationalistic identities that are intertwined with religious beliefs. When a religious identity is conflated with a national or ethnic identity, it can lead to intolerance, prejudice, and even violence against those of different faiths or backgrounds. By returning to a focus on shared spiritual values and common humanity, religions can become a force for peace and unity rather than division. This allows for a deeper appreciation of the diversity within faith and facilitates collaboration on global challenges, proving that religion can be a bridge between people rather than a wall. Number 3, religion must call for unconditional peace with others. This is also the most important factor for a religion to have if they want to survive the next 100 years. One day I was talking to a Muslim friend of mine, and he was telling me how peaceful and beautiful the religion Islam is. He also added that the Quran teaches them they should never execute anybody, as only Allah has the right to do that. And right away I asked him, what is the justified punishment for someone who wants to leave Islam? And he said, execution is the justified punishment. This is the opposite of peace. This is the opposite of beauty. There is no way on earth to make me believe that it's justified to execute someone just because they want to leave the religion. To survive the next 100 years, religions must prioritize peace and tolerance toward other faiths, or they risk becoming obsolete in a globalized, interconnected world. Historically, religious intolerance has been a source of immense conflict, violence, and division. In the modern era, with instant access to information and a growing emphasis on human rights, religions that promote exclusion or hatred are increasingly viewed as a threat to social harmony. By actively promoting peace and tolerance, a religion demonstrates its relevance as a force for good, attracting people who seek a spiritual framework for a more just and compassionate world. Without this shift, they risk being seen as outdated and dangerous institutions. The promotion of tolerance is also a crucial step toward building bridges and fostering genuine interfaith dialogue. A religion that views itself as the sole path to truth and salvation often struggles to engage with others constructively. This can lead to an us versus them mentality that fuels prejudice and mistrust. In contrast, religions that embrace a pluralistic view can participate in meaningful conversations, collaborate on global challenges like poverty and climate change, and find shared values in their respective traditions. This collaborative approach not only strengthens the faith of their followers, but also presents a compelling vision of religion as a uniting force. Religious leaders and communities from different faiths can come together to foster understanding and cooperation, demonstrating that diversity can be a source of strength rather than division. Ultimately, a commitment to peace and tolerance is essential for a religion's long-term moral authority and appeal. As more people move away from dogmatic, intolerant forms of faith, religions that champion peace become more resilient and attractive. This collaborative approach not only strengthens the faith of their followers, but also presents a compelling vision of religion as a uniting force. Religious leaders and communities from different faiths can come together to foster understanding and cooperation, demonstrating that diversity can be a source of strength rather than division. Ultimately, a commitment to peace and tolerance is essential for a religion's long-term moral authority and appeal. As more people move away from dogmatic, intolerant forms of faith, religions that champion peace become more resilient and attractive. They show that it is possible to hold deep personal beliefs while respecting the dignity and rights of others. This is not just a matter of political correctness, it's a fundamental ethical stance. By fostering an environment where all people feel safe and respected, regardless of their beliefs, religions can remain vibrant and meaningful institutions that contribute positively to the tapestry of human society. Religions must become part of the solution to global conflict rather than a cause of it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are a follower of any major organized religion, you gotta make sure your religion is following those three factors. If your religion does not have those three, trust me, it can never survive the next 100 years. There is an avalanche that we all call the internet, and it is on the way to wipe out your religion. And the internet is going to provide any information that was considered to be impossible for centuries. As long as a religion is advocating for peace, following scientific discoveries, and not associated with any internal culture, your religion is guaranteed to stay as many years as possible. This was it for the day, guys. This is To The Point, and I am out.